Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm the fundraiser and administrator at North Avenue Youth Centre, or NAYC. I'm going to be chatting with Charlie, our Youth Centre manager, about the Youth Centre and what we've been up to during this very unusual year. As we weren't able to do our normal AGM and presentation evening in June of this year, we wanted to still have a chance to thank you for your support and update you on the work we've been doing. First of all, thank you for your continued support of the centre in whatever way that's been, but particularly to those that have given us donations and grants or helped to facilitate them. For those that are new to supporting NAYC, a little bit about our background. NAYC was established in the year 2000 as a response to need in the community. We're in the Melbourne, Boarded Barns area of Chelmsford, and the area around the centre is one of the 20% most socially deprived areas. We have a purpose-built sports hall and an area where the young people can play pool and play other games. We also have a small outside area. So let's have a chat with Charlie, find out a bit more about the youth centre and what we've been up to this year. Hello.
Hi.
So Charlie, how long have you been involved with youth work and with NAYC?
So I've been with NAYC, I think it's 3.5 years. So I think this coming April, it's going to be 4 years. In terms of youth work, I got involved with kind of working with children and families about 13 years ago, volunteering with, I was like running a baby mums and tots group and working with Sure Start. So we were going into people's homes and people who were struggling. So volunteering that way. And then I moved to Germany, got involved in taking on a sessional, like a paid job, and just progressed from there really. But I've only actually been qualified for a year. Well, just under a year. I qualified this year. So yeah.
Well done. So tell us a bit about the aims of the Youth Centre and what outcomes you hope to see.
So I hope that the Youth Centre provides a place for young people where they're safe, where they can have fun, and where the work that we deliver provides opportunity for their personal and social development. We aim to create a space where young people really know they're valued, where they're listened to, and where they know if they need someone, that there always is someone there. I also do one-to-one work with some young people, and I spend time chatting to parents, listening, offering advice and support, and also connecting with parents to see how we can best support the young people that we're working with.
That's great. Excellent. What do you love most about your work at NAYC?
This is a surprisingly difficult question to answer, I think. I think in youth work, we very often know that we're sowing the seeds with the young people, and that sometimes they can take years to really blossom. But sometimes you just can tell that something you have done has made a difference. And I love seeing young people grow, and I feel privileged to be part of it. Sometimes a young person will bring something like a particular issue, and over time we'll work on that, and watching them kind of think things through, understand things from a different perspective and move forward, it's really rewarding. Other times you can see young people, they become more confident in themselves, and they kind of find a path they want in life and start making choices to support that path. I guess young people they're on a journey to find themselves, and when they're forming their views and opinions about the things that are around them and kind of what's going on in the world, and that to be able to be part of that, I think is a real privilege. It's exciting, it's interesting, and to be able to offer some kind of perspective or reassurance or encouragement, or even to challenge young people, I think it's all part of their picture, and it's so important. I also love learning. Young people have got a lot to teach us. I think their views can be quite different to adults, and talking to young people and listening to them, it's refreshing, and it definitely helps me to be a better youth worker, I think.
Excellent. And you've got the added perks of getting to play some games.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. There's so many great things we do. Things like going away for the adventure weekends, things like going to Wales. We do loads of trampolining days and all sorts that we do. It's great fun.
Excellent. So if you can remember back to before the pandemic, which seems like an increasingly long time ago, what was the youth centre normal before all this crazy?
So we were running for 3 days during the week, and we had 4 sessions. So we did 3 seniors and 1 junior session. And again, I was doing still kind of some one-to-one work with some young people and parents and families and that as well. I think, gosh, it was a while ago now. I think it was Monday, Wednesday and Friday, generally that we did. And then we did during the school holidays, half terms, Christmas, summer holidays, those things like that, we'd put on more of a programme of the work that we were doing. So that might be like full day sessions around particular projects, or residential, such as the adventure weekend in the summer, or trips to ice skating. The core part of our work though is the regular sessions that we provide, where young people come each week, they get to know the staff that are working there, staff get to know them, and everything else we do kind of builds off from those regular sessions.
And a lot of the stuff you're doing in those sessions is just kind of activities and stuff, is it? Games?
Yeah, so it's open access youth work. So anyone can come in with the age range of 8 to 18. And we'll do a variety of activities. So games, pool, sports, crafts, cooking, anything like that. And then if there's a particular issue with the young people, or say they raise something that they're particularly interested in, or they think something's important, then we can tailor our work towards that. So I don't know, say if there's, so a while ago, the young people we're working with, they lost one of their friends through quite a violent incident. So we did work around bereavement, we did work around kind of remembering, and then from that around safety and where to seek support from, and kind of choices and that kind of thing. So the work that we do in the sessions is really tailored to the young people we're working with.
Yeah, and responding to what's going on, really, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what have you been able to do since the first lockdown in March, when we had to close the centre-based sessions?
Yeah, so in March we closed, and we were hoping that it would be for a fairly short time, but it ended up being much longer. We very quickly started doing online work. So we were running sessions 3 times a week. We didn't do work for the juniors at the time, because we didn't want to be encouraging the juniors to be using social media, when generally social media is 13 plus. So our online sessions were games, activities, kind of those kind of fun things, but the main part of it was updating young people, just kind of being there for someone for them to talk to, and also doing trying to give them something like a place to express if they're stressed, or if they're struggling, or if they didn't understand kind of the different rules, because they were changing a lot. And we also started our detached work then. Well, we started in terms of our planning and prep for it, and our training of the staff team. And we started doing some kind of investigatory stuff, so going into the community and finding out kind of what the area is like in a more detailed way. Then we opened up again. Took an awful lot of time with all the paperwork, and then making sure we were doing everything we could to keep people safe and following the rules. So then we did a few sessions with we were trying to do the activities and working out what we could do with the space, and kind of getting young people involved in making those new rules with us as well. So this is what we have to do, and how can we make that work in the centre? And then we had to close very quickly. So we didn't expect that at all. But throughout that, we carried on with our detached work. Since we've had to close again, we've begun the detached work, but we've now also offered a junior session. But we're doing it so that the senior session is just kind of a drop-in. Any senior young person can get involved through. We do it through the Facebook Messenger, is a lot of it. But with the juniors, we're now doing kind of a Zoom session with crafts and activities and bits and pieces, which I hope is something we might be able to continue doing, because I think they're really enjoying it. And then we're continuing doing the online sessions for the seniors. Again, that's through Messenger. And we also do on a Tuesday and a Thursday. I'm available from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. So we can do kind of one-to-one work still. If young people want someone to talk to, if they're struggling with anything, if they've got questions, if they're bored, they can get in touch generally through Messenger or WhatsApp, and there's support there for them. And also as well, I spent quite a long time talking to parents during this time. And then hopefully we're looking to open hopefully soon, but we'll see.
So you mentioned detached work. Some people might not be familiar with that term. Can you just explain what that means?
Yeah, of course. So even when we were doing the centre-based work, we were already planning to do detached work, which is where we go into the community and we engage with young people who, for whatever reason, the youth centre is not offering something that they want, is not meeting any of their needs. And we've got quite a few young people who kind of might hang around the door, they'll kind of say hello, but they don't stay. And those young people, for whatever reason, the youth centre is not working for them. So we go into the community, wherever young people are, and we're there to make sure they know that there's someone there who is, you know, the relationship we have is very different. We're not police, we're not teachers, we're not parents. We're someone who's there on the side of young people, but also invest in developing those relationships so that we can challenge and address and engage in really important conversations with young people. And as I said, we started the training for that, and that's something that we plan to continue going. That's not something that will end once we hopefully get past the COVID situation.
Great. It sounds like you've really diversified the provision then, actually.
Definitely.
So it's great.
Very quickly, I've got some photos that I can show to show the youth centre, and also show some of the bits and pieces we've been doing. So if I, hopefully this goes right, click share screen. Okay, so here, so this is the kind of as you first go into the youth centre. Can you see this? There we go. So this is what the first bit of the youth centre looks like. And as you can see, everyone over the age of 11 has to wear masks in the youth centre at the moment. And they're just doing things, staying far apart from people. This is our sports hall, where we would normally use that for football or basketball or something. We're now putting the pool table and the ping pong table in there, just so that we've got more space in the main part of the youth centre. And then here is some socially distanced football in our garden. And we also have some seating here as well. So it's a really well used space, and it's very there's lots of different ways that we can use it. And obviously with I'll just stop sharing. That's how some of the bits and pieces have looked that we've been doing since not since lockdown, since we've had to abide by the new rules.
Yeah. And just say, do follow us on Facebook if you're on Facebook, or we've also got Instagram and Twitter accounts. We use Facebook the most probably, so you can keep in touch with everything that we're doing, and see pictures and information stuff. So Charlie, what have you found the hardest thing as the youth centre manager with the restrictions?
I think probably the amount of time it's taken to make sure that we're keeping everyone as safe as we can and we're doing everything properly. But I think in terms of working with the young people, they are the people I think that have been affected most by the different regulations, because they've got such a variety and conflicting messages. So telling young people when they come into the youth centre, you have to wear your face mask and you have to keep your distance, where in school they're not having to do that. And then at home there's a different, I think that's been really challenging, to try and kind of listen to young people and say, well, I understand that kind of it almost doesn't feel fair, but this is what we have to do. Also, losing touch with our young people has been really difficult, and I think there's a lot of barriers to young people accessing online work. So where we're still engaging with some, we have lost quite a few, and then we've also lost 2 of our volunteers, which is hopefully temporary, but each person has their own vulnerabilities within their family, which means that they're not able to come back and work with kind of groups of young people at the moment. But yeah, I think the two main difficulties have been trying to meet the needs of young people, and also losing touch with them.
Have you noticed anything positive that's happened since restrictions started?
Yeah, I think definitely. So the online work we're doing, it's not something, so I've got quite a lot of experience with detached youth work. I've never really done online youth work before, so it's been an absolute learning curve for myself and the whole team. But I think it's provided a space where, although it's not open access youth work and we don't have the opportunity to kind of have those spontaneous conversations and you know, something's happening and we can respond to it to support the learning of young people, that's not really working in the same way. But it has given us an opportunity to do more focused work. So for example, we had a group of young people and they thought it was really unfair because they're not 18 years old, they couldn't ask the government a question online about the COVID situation. So, you know, that's that we were discussing that, and we came up with the idea of having a Q&A session with Vicky Ford, who is the local MP for Chelmsford and also the Minister for Children. And so we put all the questions together and then we did a Facebook Live with her where I asked the questions. And I think that activity, it's supported young people to think about how they access politics, about the views of young people, about youth rights, about how they can engage with politics and the government's way of dealing with it. And it also made sure that they had accurate information. But on top of that, it gave us a space to talk about their own confidence. So they weren't prepared to ask Vicky these questions themselves. So I did it on their behalf. And I think it kind of gave them the opportunity to think that's something they can do. So now they can access that in the future. They know they can email her and contact her. And around kind of the use of online, a lot of young people are uncomfortable using the videos, and it gave us an insight into the world of young people as well, and their experiences around COVID, but also their experiences around the way the world is changing in terms of it. So that was really positive. We've also the detached youth work as well. I think that's something that's really been kind of sped up, and something that I think has the potential to be really impactful over time. It's definitely slow work, detached work. It takes the time to establish it, but I'm really pleased with that we've got going with that. So yeah.
Excellent. And what are you excited about for the future for NAYC?
I can't wait to get the youth centre open again, and to go back to being able to deliver sessions face to face with young people. I'm really excited about opening for Christmas. I think I know there's been talk about lockdown in January, and kind of there's definitely uncertainty around the new year. But I think when there's so much restrictions on young people in terms of to go to school and work, and I think socializing is so important for young people, so we can create a safe space where young people can socialize with their friends. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also really looking forward to once we have kind of returned to a little bit of normality. During the lockdown, we've spent time really developing the team. As I said, developing different pieces of work. So where before lockdown, we were delivering 4 sessions a week, I'm hoping that we can do, we're looking up to maybe 6 sessions a week we might be able to do, and perhaps doing centre-based and detached at the same time, and also looking at doing a very specific project-based work. I think the stuff we did online, it's shown me that that space and that more the clearer direction with young people can have such a great benefit for young people. And I think that I think young people should have a space where their voice is heard and they get to make the decisions about what we do and how we do it. So I'm hoping we can incorporate that as well once a week. So I think there's a lot to look forward to, and in the process of getting there, we're learning things, we're developing what we're doing, and we are still running. Although it's a bit of a different look to it, we're still delivering youth work to the young people.
Excellent, well done. So thank you for listening. We want to thank you for your continued support of the Youth Centre and therefore our young people, and the difference that we can make to their lives together for our work. And we hope that in 2021 we'll be able to see you in person, and you'll be able to come to the youth centre to one of our events and see us in our more normal habitat.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.